I've got a few things I want to share with you tonight. This will not be one of those deep dive shows, all right, where I go and read through a whole legal brief and analyze it, Bernie the attorney style. It's not going to be like that. But I have to share some information with you. One story I missed from last year about the big developer, the St. Joe Company, and the damage that they're doing and the way our local news outlets are covering up for them. Why do you think that might be? And why our local elected officials are working so closely with them. Why could that be? Can you say on the take? But look, they're polluting Lake Powell, and there's a big Facebook group that's very concerned about it. I bet they're not getting much help. But I found an article from last year. Where the Florida Department of Environmental Protection sent a warning letter to the St. Joe Company about dewatering. Dewatering? That sounds kind of like what I've been showing you, sometimes live, right off the side of the road, or else I'll go down to Low Water Lake and catch them pumping water out of the lake into the Gulf. Oh my God, who remembers that? All the politicians say, we don't know who's doing it. What do you mean you don't know who's doing it? Whoa. Have you ever seen the movie Chinatown? Chinatown was the Oscar-winning movie of the year in 1974. Jack Nicholson was in it, and it is set, though, in 1936 with the water corruption in Los Angeles. That's what the movie's about, the water corruption in Los Angeles and City Hall and how they diverted water and all of the corruption, and the greatest villain in movie history. The greatest villain in movie history is not Darth Vader. It's not Jaws. It's the old man. It's the old man that keeps calling Jack Nicholson Mr. Gitz. It's oh my God, that's a great movie. Oh man, now that I know what I know, now that I've learned what I've learned, oh gosh, since I've seen it, woo, you should have seen what this old corrupt man did with his daughter. Yeah, John Huston is the actor who plays the corrupt old man. But, I was thinking about it today. Holy shnikes. I was thinking, do you know that I'm telling you, I've seen Chinatown probably 35 times. It's like one of my very favorite movies. And every time I watch it, I see something new. Oh, it's so good. And when you watch it now and you go, damn, this is like Bay County, but small potatoes. I can't believe it. I can't believe it. But the St. Joe Company and Bay County and BlackRock that owns 9% of the St. Joe Company. Oh, hello. Man, I'll tell you what, it becomes more and more clear why our elected officials and those in charge of, making sure that our beautiful resources don't get destroyed are looking the other way, are being protected as long as they look the other way. Oh, it's so amazing. Yeah, I was thinking, God, Chinatown, what a great movie about the massive corruption in Los Angeles and the water diversion in 1936 and how corrupt City Hall was. And then I thought, oh, whoa, hello, 2023. I'm not even kidding you. You should treat yourself to Chinatown and enrich your life. You say, Bernie, if you keep talking about Chinatown, I'm going to go somewhere else. Hey, I should tell you right now, too, I've got several things to show you I think are super interesting, especially the St. Joe stuff, which I posted below. So if you don't want to hear about Chinatown, this is not going to be one. You could miss this show. There's some shows I say you can't miss. You're not going to believe it. This is not one of those. But I got some stuff to show you. Who knows who Andrew Gillum is, by the way? Andrew Gillum, do you remember he ran against Ron DeSantis in 2018? He was the darling of the Democrats. He was the corrupt mayor of Tallahassee. I know this because Erwin Jackson ratted him out, filed an ethics complaint on him, and whoa, that led to where he is today, which is waiting for a jury verdict in the federal corruption case against him. You say, oh, Bernie, you have so much confidence in the case against Andrew Gillum. Why don't you have the same amount of confidence against Mayor Margo Anderson? And to that, I say the answer is, I'm searching for a word. I'm reaching for a word. I know, evidence. Evidence, that's what. Let me just tell you that this is like day 4 of jury deliberations in Tallahassee where they had a hung jury on James Finch. Yeah, the jury reconvenes tomorrow at 9:00, and Andrew Gillum really did lie to the FBI. I'll just tell you real quick. Who remembers back in 2016, 2017, Andrew Gillum was the mayor of Tallahassee, living large. This is before he was the national, CNN contributor, all that stuff. And so he takes a trip to New York and he gets some tickets to see Hamilton. Remember that? The Broadway play. And he's out there with some businessmen and his brother and some other guy friends. And he gets these tickets to Hamilton. And he didn't know there was an FBI investigation on him that stemmed from Erwin Jackson's going to the meetings and filing ethics complaints on him. And so the FBI calls him in and they do a real interview with him. They actually record it. And they say, hey, Mayor Gillum, where'd you get those Hamilton tickets and all those fancy dinners and drinks and boat rides? And where'd you get all that stuff? My brother. Wait. It's being recorded now. Tell us again where? My brother. I think I've got the story right. As it happens, the businessmen that went with him to New York were undercover FBI agents. They weren't really businessmen. They gave him a bunch of these gifts, I think even the tickets. So Andrew Gillum is recorded lying to the FBI about where he got gifts when the FBI themselves are the ones who gave it to him. See, that is a real case with real evidence, right? Imagine. In our case, the FBI agent, Larry Borghini, an old veteran, I thought he was going to clean up the town. He's since retired. He said James Finch gave Margo Anderson an RV. But there was no evidence of that. The evidence all pointed the other way. And then they found out, oh, damn, her husband did buy the RV and they had to return it. They never even asked Margo Anderson about the RV. The FBI didn't have any undercover brothers hiding behind bushes with video cameras, getting evidence, posing as business partners. None of that. No audits, no forensic audit, no nothing. But with Andrew Gillum, on the other hand, there's a lot of evidence. I mean, the FBI agents were with him. Kind of like how they got Scott Maddox, the mayor before Andrew Gillum. Ooh, Yeah, that's real FBI work. They know how to do it when they choose to do it. So tomorrow, it is expected that the verdict will come out about Andrew Gillum lying to the FBI and other charges, wire fraud, money transfers, you know, that kind of thing. He and another lady. Anyway, that's happening tomorrow. That's huge news. Oh, wow, that's big news. All right, let's take a look at what St. Joe's doing to Lake Powell and what the Florida Department of Environmental Protection said to the St. Joe Company last year in that warning letter. But first, in 2 weeks, just 2 weeks from today, is on Super Tuesday, you have a chance. Nobody can believe there's a runoff election for the Panama City mayor. Doc Rowan versus the current mayor, Greg Brudnicki. Now, the question is, do you think Panama City should spend $200 million tearing down and rebuilding the Civic Center? Should they close down the marina and the boat ramp? Now, I noticed that the current mayor, Greg Brudnicki, all of a sudden is Doc Rowan. He wants to save the marina, save the boat ramp, open it up. Boy, he's for legacy. But that's not what he used to say. Is that what he'll say after the election? I don't know. What do you think? So here is a chance in Panama City for voters in this runoff election on the 16th to elect a mayor that actually represents you and not the big developers like the St. Joe Company. Doc Rowan is running for mayor of Panama City. The city wants to spend $170 million to build a new civic center. They could have restored it for $12 million. Why are they so determined to spend more than $150 million than they should? And they want to shut down the boat ramp in the marina. If they have their way, generations of boaters and fishermen would become second-class citizens. It's time for a mayor who puts you first, rather than the big developers. Vote for Doc Rowan on or before April 18th. So take a look at this. This is a Facebook page, Bay County Outdoors. And look at this. They've got, see that up there underneath? 25,000 followers. That's a lot of folks in that group are following that page anyway. I don't know if it's a group, but wow, it's a community page. So okay, I'll read you that in a minute. Look at all this. Great pictures. Oh boy. So they posted 5 days ago. It says, here, let me blow it up for you. And once again, the St. Joe Company allowed runoff to spill into Lake Powell. Look at that. Ooh. Damn. Look at that. It says the same spot every time. Well, that's interesting. I guess it's cheaper to pay the fines than fix the problem, they say. And they tag the St. Joe Company and they tag Governor Ron DeSantis. But you can see, right? Oh, man. So people are pissed. 86 shares. 86 shares. Here's something I noticed. You know, the St. Joe Company has a big PR firm team, you know, and they go to all the, you know, the chamber events and all the, you know, a lot of ribbon cuttings, and they get a lot of great press. Donating land. Backpack Beach Road. No, we're just donating it out of the goodness of our hearts. You guys aren't donating it so that you can develop later on? What do you mean develop later on? It's wetlands. How are we going to develop later on? We just want to give a road to cut through Backpack Beach Road to help with the traffic, you know. Yeah, that's a good point. How would they build? There's wetlands. How about dewater the place? How about divert the water underground? How about you pay off the politicians to say that we're going to fix the flooding problem that they actually exacerbated by clogging up the outfall of Low-Water Lake during Hurricane Sally? For the first time, they didn't clean that up when they knew a water event was coming. Oh, and the houses that were damaged, more than 25 of them. And the city of Panama City put that in the application. Oh, we need $21 million to fix the flooding problem. And they cited as evidence all the damaged homes at Low-Water that they flooded themselves. The FBI knows this. I promise. They know who to talk to about it. But they don't. And so, anyway, the St. Joe company, owned by BlackRock, just 9%. They now they're dewatering. They got to dry it up so they can develop that area that they said, what are you talking about? Would never develop there. All that water. Oh, yeah. And at the big events, a lot of the, charity balls and where they pat each other on the back and say, so-and-so is the citizen of the year or the businessman of the year, whatever it is. The same circle group. Not like that. The same rotation is what I'm trying to say. Circle group. The same rotation is what I'm trying to say. Pretty much. Yeah. They where we live, work, and play. We'd like to give an award for the environment, the most beautiful area. Meanwhile, they're doing this. Meanwhile, they're digging up the Gulf and discharging bacteria-ridden, oil-saturated stormwater at a quarter mile, half mile west of Pier Park at the end of the pier. And there aren't any I got to tell you, if you were to say, Bernie, who are you the most mad at? Are you mad at the St. Joe company? Not really. That's what big corporations do. You just have to have, decent people representing the people who say, I'm not going to vote for that. Well, then we'll vote your ass out. Do what you got to do. But my name will not be attached to the legacy of ruining Lake Powell and ruining the Gulf for your development. Well, then you'll be dealt with. We'll deal. But we don't have people like that. Mary Coburn. We've got one council member on Panama City Beach now that's against this. But I got to tell you, I'm probably the least mad at the St. Joe company. You're not going to like where I'm going with this. You're not going to like where I'm going with this. So, am I mad at the politicians? Yeah, I'm pissed off at them for taking public trust and using it like toilet paper. I'm pissed off at them. You know that. Am I pissed off at the media? Yeah, pissed off at the news media who have sold out for the TDC money, for the St. Joe money, for the quasi-government advertising money. Well, Bernie wouldn't exist if we weren't partners with them. Well, you're just a PR firm then. You're not the news anymore. But who's left to be mad at? Oh, I know. Us. You. I'm kind of pissed off at you. And the reason I am is because the only protests I've ever seen against this, the only protests I've ever seen against digging 30-foot trenches, which they're trying to do. They've got $31 million, Panama City Beach, allocated for discharging stormwater north of Back Beach Road into the Gulf. And it's going to cost a minimum of 41 now. They don't even have enough. So what are they doing? Well, they're talking to their lobbyists and their DC friends, and they're trying to get more funding to help with flooding. To help with flooding. Yeah. I don't know how they say it with a straight face. I mean, I just cannot believe they can do that without even being embarrassed. Where was I? Oh, yeah. All this is happening. And I see people posting on Facebook in capital letters about how climate change is unsustainable, right? Climate change, how they care about the environment, how because I'm one political party and you're another political party, I care more about the environment. You know what? Until I see you at a city council meeting or at a protest or doing whatever you can do to save the Gulf, to save Lake Powell, I'm kind of mad at you. I mean, really? St. Joe's just doing what St. Joe's going to do. That's what companies are always trying to buy off politicians. But the politicians have a public trust, and so do the news outlets, and they violate that. They're scumbags. They'd put arsenic in the Gulf if the kickbacks were big enough. But really, it's us, you know. St. Joe, like it's like that old story about the scorpion that stung the frog. You know, the frog was surprised. Scorpion talked him into giving him a ride across the river. And the frog said, "Are you crazy? I see that stinger. I've seen what you've done to my family." That's what he said. And the scorpion said, "No, man, not anymore. We're all in it together. This is where we live, work, and play," said the scorpion. And so the frog said, "Oh, okay. No sense in holding grudges. Let's appeal to our better angels. Hop on." Halfway across the river, what happens? The scorpion stings the frog. And the frog can't believe it. He said, "We're both going to die? Why'd you do that? We're both going to die." The scorpion said, "Because I'm a scorpion. That's what I do. It's my nature. I sting frogs." And that's what big companies and lobbyists do. They bribe politicians, right? But we are the only ones who can hold them accountable, especially since the news outlets have sold out. And I'm telling you, posting on Facebook is not going to cut it. It's a start, spreading awareness. But man, you guys better organize. You guys better get in touch with the permit issuers, find other groups like yours. Let's take a look at what the FDEP sent St. Joe in August about dewatering. I don't know how I missed this last year, but I did. All those things, the most dishonest politician perhaps in all of Bay County has become Mike Jarman. He's on the city council in Panama City Beach. And it's so disappointing. And it's repugnant, really. I mean, because I don't want to get into all that. The religion on the sleeve type thing. But man, I mean, that guy can look you right in the face and lie. Misinformation. Bernie's spreading misinformation. The St. Joe company is not dewatering north of Back Beach Road. They're not putting that water into the Gulf and into other areas. And lo and behold, then I find this article, or one of you sent it to me. And I said, "Oh, that's what I needed to see, and I need to share it with you." All right, I'm going to show you what the Florida Department of Environmental Protection said to the St. Joe company last year right after this.
Don't let back pain and neck pain get you down. Find relief at Brown Chiropractic Center on St. Andrews Boulevard in Panama City. Dr. Sherry Brown helps people heal naturally with chiropractic adjustments and deep tissue massage. Call 769-3777.
When your life is on the line, hire the lawyer who lives in our community, works in our community, and worships in our community. I'm Al Saulene, your Panama City Beach lawyer. 850-215-0628.
So I know that I on the caption of the show or the headline or whatever it is, I said Panama City Beach is the city of Panama City Beach is batshit crazy. All right, I do need to show. I'll show after this. I'll show you why I said that. You're not going to believe what the city council and the city manager and the bureaucrats that run Panama City Beach, what they're doing regarding mental health awareness. It's just, sometimes it's just too much. All right, let's take a look at this first. Look at that. May of last year, St. Joe gets warning letter for environmental issues at water sound origins. Holy smokes. All right. Northwest Florida Daily News. I got limited articles remaining. Okay, whatever. All right, Inlet Beach. After three inspections of ongoing development of water sound origins, a massive residential project in the southeastern edge of Walton County, the Florida Department of Environmental Protection has issued a warning letter to the St. Joe Company, the project's developer. The May 11 letter states that the inspections in Phase 7 of the project, located east of Splash Drive and south of Sawbuck Drive, revealed possible violations of state environmental laws and state administrative regulations regarding the permitting of activities involving environmental resources. The warning letter is part of an agency investigation, preliminary to agency action. So this is what we do before we really get busy, said the Florida Department of Environmental Protection, in accordance with state statutes. Specifically, the letter notifies St. Joe that during inspections on March 17, March 29, and May 3rd, FDEP personnel noted both unauthorized activities in wetlands. Geez, I've shown that live on video over here in PCB. You remember that? And water quality violations that occurred as a result of dewatering activities. I sure hope Molly Allen sees this. She's the resident who lives in Lowwater, who has been taking water samples and caring for that lake for more than a dozen years. Somebody, that's her home. Nobody loves Lowwater Lake more than Molly Allen. But she's just a citizen. You get a big developer and a bunch of politicians on the take, and some bureaucrats and directions from on high. BlackRock owns 9% of St. Joe. You know, you just have to deal with change. Just have to deal with change. But we'll do our best. You know, we've got some applications for grants. We're going to clean your lake. We're with the government. We're here to help. We just need you to stop rabble-rousing and making comments at meetings and sending those letters to the Army Corps of Engineers, for God's sake. We've got promises we need to keep. All right, so dewatering activities. All right. In real estate development, dewatering is a process of removing surface water and or groundwater, water found underground in cracks and other spaces in soil and sand and rock from a site. That's all we're doing, Bernie. Standard
Stop saying that we're going to discharge stormwater from north of Back Beach Road down into the Gulf. Well, what the hell are the underground pipes for? You know, it's all in the plan. I cannot believe that these politicians can lie at public meetings when people in the audience who work for the city know it's a lot. Nobody's embarrassed. Nobody's embarrassed at all. Everybody's in on it. In recent weeks, residents near Watersound Origins, which is located north and east of U.S. Highway 98 near Inlet Beach, have reported silt flowing into nearby Lake Powell, which at 800 acres is the largest coastal dune lake in the world. They already destroyed Lowwater Lake. You know, I know people who, oh my God. I mean, I know people who talk about how much they love coastal dune lakes, who understand the magic of coastal dune lakes, how precious they are, how rare they are. And they don't say a word, not a word, about what's happening. Now, why is that? Short-term gain is not worth destroying what we're supposed to take care of and enjoy. And you know that. You know that. Yeah, but Bernie, it's a lot of short-term gain. You know what I mean? Okay. May your names forever be attached. May your legacy forever be attached to what's happening. That's my prayer. That's my prayer. Bernie is supposed to have more of a forgiving prayer. No, that's my prayer. Look at this. Coastal dune lakes, which connect with nearby bodies of salt water. In the case of Lake Powell, the Gulf of Mexico, through periodic breaks across beaches, are an exceedingly rare ecological phenomenon existing in only a few places on Earth. Well, this happens to be in our way, Bernie. I know. Rich Jaffe of Inlet Beach Neighborhood Association, one of the people who's contacted FDEP and other government agencies with concerns about St. Joe's work near Lake Powell, said silt has been infiltrating the lake from Watersound Origins and is creating a real concern about what happens to the aquatic life and forces in the lake over time. I mean, Panama City Beach is planning to create a dead zone. It's called a hypoxic zone, by discharging a bunch of storm water near the end of the city pier. Hypoxic zone. It's not hard to find out what a hypoxic zone is. The city says Bernie's lying. A dead zone is, when we say dead zone, this is what Panama City Beach said. Mayor Mark Sheldon and Mike Jarman. Swear to God, they said this. No, a dead zone is when the salt water naturally kills the harmful bacteria that we're going to discharge in the Gulf. That's what they said. Channel 7 reported it. And I got to say, the Channel 7 reporter a couple years ago that reported it, she said it like she believed it. A dead zone is where the salt water kills the harmful bacteria the city pumps in the Gulf. Discharges, Bernie, discharges. We're not pumping anything. Okay. Moving forward, Jaffe said he and other residents around the lake, while not expecting work on the development to stop, do expect St. Joe to exercise due diligence with regard to the lake. That'd be nice. I'm with you, Mr. Jaffe. In the meantime, Jaffe added that he and his neighbors will watch St. Joe's work at the site closely. Way to go. Man, good job. We live here, Jaffe said. They're just trying to make money here. St. Joe did not have anyone available for comment when contacted late last week, according to Mike Kerrigan, the company's vice president in marketing and communications. So the St. Joe guy in charge of marketing and communications, he didn't have an answer. Remember that name, Mike Kerrigan. Mike, may their names forever be attached to the destruction of dune lakes and the Gulf of Mexico. Mike Kerrigan. Attach that name to what's going to happen. All right. So the company made a statement, however. All right. The company issued a statement upon notice. Boy, does this sound like, does this sound warm and fuzzy, like they are concerned, like, oh man, the beautiful Dune Lake is getting polluted. Man, like they didn't know, right? No, or does it sound like a damn robot? Bureaucratic jargon. Upon notice of the off-site disturbances, I'm going to tell you something. If the head of communications wrote this to the news, you need a new head of communications. Bernie, how do you know? What do you know about that kind of work? Well, I was a public affairs captain in the U.S. Air Force. Okay, I had to do that work. I've studied it for a quarter of a century, got degrees in it. I'm trained. And I'm telling you that I can't believe your communications guy is writing stuff like this. Upon notice of the off-site disturbances, you mean where you're dumping silt over and over in the same place? The runoff in Lake Powell? Is that the disturbance upon notice, which you found? Oh my God. We began taking corrective action. This is bad. Sounds like an engineer wrote it, not a communications guy. St. Joe said, we discussed our concerns with the independent site contractor. Oh, way to take action. That is performing the work of this project and emphasize the importance of immediately correcting problems. How do you like that? The St. Joe company throwing somebody else under the bus. I mean, they never take responsibility, do they? The statement also noted that St. Joe representatives met with an environmental consultant. Oh, man, you guys are going overboard trying to save the environment. Looking out for Lake Powell. I mean, you guys, did you work overtime? Yeah, we went out and we met with an environmental consultant, the site contractor and the FDEP, to review the corrective actions. I got an idea. How about you guys stop discharging silt and pollution into Lake Powell? And how about you don't plan to do it in the Gulf? And how about stop ruining Low Water Lake? Well, Bernie, I'm looking at my notes here, and here's some of the notes. And the consultants never mentioned that. And we only do what the experts say. Yeah. Bernie, you're not an expert. We brought in the experts. How much you pay the experts? More than $1 million. What do you think they're going to say? I mean, who are you talking to? I can't believe people allow this. In the days since, the company said the environmental consultant, oh my God, is performing daily stormwater inspections and quality testing. The company, that'd be St. Joe, added in a statement that it is committed. Before we go, we want you to know that upon the disturbances of which were found, but at the very end, we just want you to know that we're committed to completing the corrective actions recommended by FDEP as quickly as possible, and continue to monitor the performance of the independent contractors, those sons of bitches that caused this, and are making us, they're always throwing them under the bus that are performing the work. Boy, St. Joe just throwing them under the bus. Hey, man, we're working with consultants. We're going to get this squared away because this is where we live, work, and play. I don't want to go over the Gillum stuff, but I do. I did tell you that I would show you how batshit crazy Panama City Beach is. All right, you ready for this? Oh my gosh. All right, look, I'm a little blurry. I need to fix this. All right, now you see me. Now you don't. Now, see? All right, so let me show you something. This is like, I just can't believe that they can do this without being embarrassed. I mean, watch. This is Panama City Beach, the city of Panama City Beach. All right, here it is. Oh my gosh. I'm embarrassed to even do this. Oof. Here, let me make it bigger. All right, so this is what I'm talking about here at the very bottom. All right. Okay, look at that. I don't know if you can read that. I'll read it to you. It says, and that's Councilman Casto right there. He's one of the Panama City Beach councilmen. And that is gosh, I always forget what her job is. HR director, Lori Philpott. All right. So it says, during city council meeting on Thursday last week, city councilman and vice mayor Paul Casto presented a proclamation to HR director Lori Philpott for Mental Health Awareness Month. Look at him. Mental Health Awareness Month. All right. You're not going to believe this. To signify the importance of mental health and to celebrate those who overcame mental illnesses are working toward recovery, the city recently earned a Bronze Bell Seal for workplace mental health initiatives. Really? You got a bronze seal? You guys are really helping your employees who might be suffering from mental illness? I mean, that is who gave you the Bronze Bell Seal for workplace health initiatives? This seal recognizes employers like us who strive to create mental healthy workplaces for their employees. To further, you ready for this? This is a great part. To further symbolize this designation, the city will be shining green lights onto City Hall overnight this month. Really? Look. You guys are going to be shining green lights on the City Hall with your Bronze Bell star. All right, so this is the HR director who is very unliked. Very, very unliked. And I have a policy on the show where I only pick on big people. We don't pick on the little guy, only big people. And then again, only big people who are bullies and liars and thieves, that kind of thing. But I just got to, it's germane to this, why I say the city's batshit crazy. She's not well liked. And she's in a position of authority. And usually, if I come across somebody like, say, Mayor Mike Thomas, he and I got it on because we didn't get along. But I know there's a lot of people who like him. I used to go to his fish fries. I know that he could be really fun and likable. Probably be a great grandpa. Get your own park and everything right next to him. Popeye Park, illegal as hell, but I don't want to get into that right now. But just about anybody, right? You can say, well, there's a lot of people who like. I have never talked to anybody who like. And after I posted this, I got messages that she's leaving City Hall, and it's like everybody's celebrating behind their back. You're telling me this is a healthy place to work? There are so many whistleblower lawsuits. The employees are treated like trash. There is a racial discrimination lawsuit, which some people think is the reason that she is leaving. It's a giant racial discrimination lawsuit against Panama City Beach. Murray Maddox is the attorney. And some of the former Black employees, they said that when they built the new city hall, these were the street workers. These were the guys out there busting their ass in the sun. Big hats on the tractors, you know, making sure the roads and the right-of-ways are cleared out. I mean, these guys work hard. And they built a new city hall, Taj Mahal, right there on the corner of 79 and Back Beach Road. And they were told, don't use the restrooms in here. This is what they said. The Black employees who worked that hard were told, yeah, don't be coming in here using the restroom. You've got that other building we gave you down the way. There's a big racial discrimination lawsuit. I'm telling you, the way they treat employees, I know a lot of them. I've heard, like, I know former employees who tell me they might be my Facebook friend, right? And they might like a picture of me, I don't know, out hiking or something, you know, tramping through the woods or whatever I do. What do you do, Bernie? Sometimes I fish. And they might like a picture, and they would get called in. Hey, we noticed that you like Bernie Thompson's picture on Facebook, on his personal page. You shouldn't ought to do that. That's a good way to get in trouble around here. That's a mentally healthy work environment. You lying sacks of, you so-and-sos. Oh my God. They are awful. Mark, ask anybody who works at City Hall if they like the HR director, if they like the mayor. Ask them what they think about these people. You know who they did like? The former city manager, Tony O'Rourke. They loved that dude, and he got fired. You know who they loved? They loved the former city clerk, MJ Bossert. Loved her. God, what a great face for the city. Fired her for giving me public records. Oh, it goes on and on. Tyson Scott fired him because he might be talking to Bernie Thompson. I mean, it goes, Ken Thorndike fired him, might be talking to Bernie. These people are like being in a toxic marriage. You know, when you're in a toxic relationship and, you know, you're told who you're allowed and not allowed to talk to? That's how sick it is at City Hall. But I want you to know, what was it they got again? Oh, my God. This is the bronze. What was the bronze? But I want you to know that despite all that, water under the bridge, despite all that, the city recently earned a bronze bell seal for workplace mental health initiatives. I mean, that's impressive. And to show how much they care, they are shining, swear to God, they are shining green lights onto City Hall overnight this month. These people are so out of touch, they post that on Facebook without embarrassment. They actually think that's an accomplishment. I swear to God, man. You're causing me to go crazy. I know you're crazy, but you're making me feel crazy that this is even a thing. I don't have a Bronze Bell Award. I don't know green lights. I can't. I gotta go. I really do. I can't do it anymore. These people are insane. Hey, I want to thank the Unknown Patriot. Thank you, Unknown Patriot, for your support so that I can tell you the truth and show you as best I can. I sure appreciate it. And I appreciate you for your support, for being here. And please let's do all we can to save Lake Powell, to save Low-Water Lake, to save the Gulf from this ravaging overdevelopment and these politicians who are on the take. And if you hold a public trust, either in the press or in government, or if you're an elected official, may your names always and forever be attached to the damage that you do. If you allow this without doing what you can do to protect the beauty, to do the right thing, to follow the rules and regulations instead of rubber stamping them because it's the St. Joe Company and the mayor called, or even hire the congressman. How about do the right thing? Or I hope your name is forever attached to what happens. Thanks for being with me, and I'll see you soon.